Wanna know what's new in Canva? Well, my friend, you are watching the right video. In this new episode of What's Hot, I'm going to cover all the new and latest Canva features one by one so that you too can start using these features. I have a lot of things to cover. Since our last episode, we'll start with two major announcements that Canva made recently. Then we'll get into the new features with some new stuff in the apps category, some new stuff in the mockups categories with some highly expected features that will roll out very soon, and then some new stuff in the charts category as well. And then we'll get into all of the UI, UX changes that Canva recently made to the platform. So indeed, a lot to cover. I suggest we jump right in. Jumping straight into it with the first major announcement Canva made recently. Canva is partnering with the Warner Music Group, but also Merlin, which is another music labeling company. This deal will allow paid and education Canva users to access and use commercially released music clips in their Canva design. So we are talking about famous music from real artists, not just stock library music, but real songs that have been published on these big labels that belong to the Warner Music Group or to the Merlin Group. Now, this is a major announcement because it positions Canva into the TikToks of this world, where creators can simply use commercially released music and leverage that to create their content. So now, on top of all of the existing audio stock library, I will call it, that is already available in Canva via stock audio library like Epidemic Sound, for example. So on top of that, we will have commercially released music and find the artists we all like and know already to create our content. Now, let's debrief this very quickly. We are talking about paid Canva users. So that would be Canva Pro, Canva for Teams, and Canva for Education Music. They didn't say anything about the Canva for Nonprofit plan, so I don't have this information. But since they were not explicitly mentioned in this deal, I would assume they would not have access to this music library. So paid Canva users only. Secondly, the article mentions that this should be available around fall of 2023. So we could expect this to roll out into Canva around September, maybe October of this year. And then third, Canva ensures that labels and artists will get royalties every time some of their music is being used in a published Canva design. So on top of being a really good news for us Canva users, because we can access more and commercial music, it is also a very good deal for musicians and labels themselves. A few examples of what you will be able to do with this commercially released music is to include it in your social media post, in your presentation, in your internal training videos, or in your educational videos, tutorial, and so forth. So it will not be limited to only one document type like social media, but you will be able to use that music in all of the different Canva document types. So very cool news. I'm glad we started with this one. Now, I have two new features to talk about in the world of mockups, starting with this one right here, color options in SmartMockups. I know you guys have been asking for this feature forever. So this is the ability to change the color of different apparel when you are using SmartMockups. So I'm going to start from the Canva homepage, and the SmartMockups is going to be located under your apps right here. So click on the apps button, and SmartMockups should be pinned to this menu right here, the left side menu. So we are going to click on SmartMockups. This will bring us to the SmartMockup interface right here into Canva. So this novelty is about apparel. Okay, so all of the clothing mockups that you will see in SmartMockups. So to make our lives easier, we have an apparel tab right here. So we don't have to search for every single piece of clothing in the app. We can just sort them all out by clicking on the apparel tab right here. So we see different types of apparel. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, sportwear, toddlers, face mask, and accessories. So let's just give this a try and click on t-shirts right here. So we are going to be using this t-shirt right here, this mock-up of a t-shirt. Okay, so the way this works, you first need to select your image that will come right here on the mock-up. So let's do this. All right, let's say we are going to be using the ChatGPT logo as our image. So I select it, then click select. There we go. Now we have added the ChatGPT logo to this t-shirt, which doesn't look great so far. So the novelty is this button right here. You see it says color, and then I have the color of the t-shirt. Okay, it's white right now. So I can click on that color, and then I can change the color of the t-shirt to anything I want, really. But what I like even more is that we do have access to the color picker. So I'm going to use the color picker and select this green of the logo. So now I have a very cool ChatGPT t-shirt. All right, so what else can I do from here? I can save my mockup, or I can adjust my image, because this t-shirt is good but could be better. So let's adjust the position of this logo. So I can move it up and down. I can pretty much like reposition this logo anywhere I want on the t-shirt, which is represented by this rectangle right here. But I can also make it smaller. Okay, I'm gonna make this smaller and position this in the middle to see how it looks. So let's try this. Okay, so this isn't great because the logo is at a better size, but it's too low now. So let's play again with this adjust setting right here. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and create kind of like a corporate kind of t-shirt. That's a little bit too much to the right. Adjust this slightly more, make this slightly bigger, and now it should be good. So now this is a very cool ChatGPT kind of corporate t-shirt. If you worked for OpenAI, maybe they would give you such a t-shirt. All right, I think I'm getting carried away here. I need to stick to the point. I know, I've read your comments. So I just wanted to show you that you can now change the color of any apparel mockup in SmartMockups. So if I come back to SmartMockups, apparel, it will work with any of these pieces of clothing right here. So I've tried different things. They all work. You can change the color of the mockup, which is a great addition. It should be rolled out to all users, paid users, free users on mobile and on desktop. So that is a great news. Thank you, Canva, for listening to your user base. Moving on to the second new feature related to mockup, I'm talking about the brand new Mockup app that Canva has integrated into its editor. So it is a novelty in the sense of before, mockups used to be an app. Okay, so something that kind of integrates with Canva, and it was a little bit clunky. Like when you made some design, if you came back to it, it was not so straightforward. I would say to modify this design, you would have to do it all over again. Now, because it is a native feature in Canva, this Mockup app, it is something you can always come back to, tweak or modify. So let me show you how this works. This will be available to all users, so paid and free users, and it will work on desktop and mobile alike. So let's come back to Canva. I have an Instagram white page right here in front of me. I'm just going to show you where you can find this Mockup app. Okay, it is an app, so it should be under your apps section right here. And at the moment, it is an app that Canva is featuring to many of its users. So you can see in my case, it is right here. It might be that it's not the one that is featured in your Canva account. It will depend on the region where you live. It will depend on what other apps you have used recently. If it's not right here, you can just simply start looking for it. So if you type mockups, like so, you should see this app. It has a logo that looks very similar to the SmartMockups logo. So this is the logo. When you click on it, this is what should happen. You should start seeing a bunch of different mockups here. So let's do another test. Okay, let's take another t-shirt, for example, a t-shirt mockup. So there you go. I have my mockup right here. The main difference between SmartMockups and this one is that this one is going to be free for all users. In SmartMockups, depending whether you are a free or a pro Canva users, you'll have access to different mockups. Here in the Mockups app, everything will be free. So the first step is to select your mockup. Second step is to insert your image. And it says it works best when you use the uploads button right here. So I'm going to do the same, import the ChatGPT logo. So I just drop it to my image right here. And there you go. Now, when I select my photo with the mockup, I have access to this edit button. If I'm not selecting the photo, I don't see it. But once I select my photo, I can start editing this mockup. So a bunch of different options. I have my fit or fill to adjust the image positioning on the mockup, and then a couple of alignments features, but it's not as precise, it's not as detailed, doesn't give me that level of granular control that I had in SmartMockups. And very important, I cannot change the color of the t-shirt in this case. So I think this Mockups app is slowly getting on the right track of being a native Canva feature, but it still lacks a couple of key features, especially that they just beefed the Smart Mockup experience by allowing us to change the color of the apparel. So why not bring us that feature in the native Mockups app as well, Canva, please? Pretty please. All right, this wraps up the novelty in terms of mockups. Now let's talk about apps, because there's a lot going on there too. Starting with the elephant in the room. Canva recently announced at their San Francisco event called Canva Extend that they were opening up their ecosystem so that starting from today, like back to the event, like beginning of June, anyone can develop an app that will run and work on the Canva platform. So they explained everything developers need to know at the Canva Extend event, but also what are the benefits of creating apps that would work on Canva. The main one is being able to tap into the 135 million active users that use Canva every single month. And since this was a major announcement, I created a dedicated tutorial to everything that was said at Canva Extend. So if you are into this, make sure you watch this video next. The link will be in the description. And if you don't have time, or if you don't want to watch this entire video about the Canva developers program, no problem. The TLDR is that Canva is opening up their ecosystem and that you will soon see a bunch of different apps that have been developed by third-party developers populating your Canva account. Okay, so anyone will be able to basically pick and choose the different apps that they want to use. We are talking about workflow integrations, new design features, maybe new ways to import content into Canva. So all of these types of apps will start appearing into your Canva account. So that is what's happening. Like, a lot of people will create apps. Now let's see how Canva is preparing to welcome all of these apps. The first new tweak in the user interface that I noticed has to do with the apps. Okay, so if you click on the apps button, now you have two different tabs here. The first one is the Discover tab, where Canva is going to show you like quite a big thumbnail here. They are going to feature trendy apps. So right now I see Mockups, I see SharePoint, and then if you scroll down, you can see more apps from Canva. So you have the Canva developed apps. So these are kind of like features, and that's where you will find your charts, your photos, bulk create, audio, logo, videos. So all of these are a mix of folders and apps that already existed into Canva. And then if you keep scrolling, you will see that you have a popular section. It's a carousel that you can continue to deploy to the left or to the right. So this popular section, it will be personalized to every single user, meaning you will not see the same apps as I'm seeing right here in my account, because the algorithm will serve you what it believes you are most likely to try to use. So this is something also new, like a personalized popular apps section right here. I'm not sure if the big featured app will also be personalized at some point. They didn't say anything about this, but I wouldn't be surprised. And then you have your different apps organized into categories. So create something new, discover content from. So these are apps that will fetch content from different platforms. Then you have some apps that will allow you to import content or media from different platforms. There's a bunch of them. And then all the way at the bottom, you have a last category called other apps, with one app only at the moment called TypeCraft, which I'll talk about in a second. But there is something else I want to show you. Next to the Discover tab, you have your apps. Okay, so your apps are all the apps that you have already used in Canva or that you have connected to Canva. So in my case, these are my apps. And from here, you have the option to disconnect these apps. So if I want to disconnect, let's find one that I don't use too much, Icon Scout. If I want to disconnect, I can remove this from my apps. Okay, there you go. Another one, I really didn't like this character thingy right here. Really didn't like this app. I can remove the app. Or if you want to see more, like to learn more about this app, you can click click on more info. But this app really not that great, so I'm gonna remove that app from my apps. So there you go. You have your app section, okay? And to prepare for what's coming, Canva has developed the Discover tab and the Your Apps tab right here. So I'm really looking forward to all of these new apps, all of these new ideas that people outside of Canva will come up with and create great apps that will make our lives as Canva designer much easier. And coming down to the very bottom of this apps list, there is this other apps called TypeCraft that a friend of mine, Roger Coles, made me discover via his Instagram account. So he made a short video about TypeCraft and I thought, ooh, I also need to talk about this because our audience will love this new app. So let's do this. Let's have a quick tour of what TypeCraft is all about. So I'm going to click on it. It says elevate your designs with custom text options. So you can bring your design to new horizon with text customization, bend, wrap, twist, and come up with unique text for your creations. So this sounds fun. I'm going to play around with this and I'm going to open the app. Okay. So when you open the app, this is the interface you will see here. So you first need to type in your text. So let's go ahead and try Team Rondi. You can select a font. So my only, I would say, reserve to this is that we don't have access to all of the Canva fonts so far, which is fine, I guess. It would have been better if we could have them all. But for example, there is no Montserrat. If I type Mont, there's nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and use something close to Montserrat. Let's see. Futura, maybe? Let's go for Futura. All right. What else? So none, unfilled. I'm seeing the preview here. Okay, I don't want outline. Let's go plain and let's change the color. Okay, also here, I don't have access to my brand colors, which would have been nice. So let's go ahead and try to simulate our pink, just playing by the eye. All right, let's go for this. So the way it works is that you see all of these dots right here, these circles. Well, you can take any of these circles and pull. Okay, so if I want to pull the T, for example, and the I here, I could create something like this. It's not super precise because I cannot use guides and all of these things. It's not like really precise tool, but it is something that I can use, right? If I want to bend different things here, I could play around with it and make it look nice. So when I'm happy with this, I can add this element to my design and there you go. It will be created like so. Now, once you have imported your text element to your page, it is considered an element. So if you want to edit it, you can still edit this text shape, but you will have to go back through the app right here and you will be limited to these options. I thought I would show you this app, though it's not groundbreaking or anything, but I think it's a pretty fun gadget to play around with, especially if you're creating logos and creating a lot of typography effects. So again, this is called TypeCraft. You will find it in your apps all the way down under the other apps section. And again, kudos to Roger Coles. Thank you, Roger. And guys, this wraps up the section about apps of this video, but pay special attention because a lot of new things are coming to your apps button and your apps section in Canva in the month to come, thanks to everything that was announced at Canva Extend. So now moving on to another section of this video, I'm talking about the charts. So when it comes to charts, Canva recently continued their integration with Flourish. Remember, a couple of years ago, Canva acquired the data visualization company called Flourish. And since then, they are integrating more and more the two products into Canva. So the latest addition of the Flourish family into Canva is two new type of interactive charts. So in order to find them, you will have to go through your apps button again, and from here make sure you click on the charts button. Okay, once you are in charts, the new things are these two interactive charts right here. You have two different charts. The first one being this one right here. This is called a tree map chart. Okay, so when you click on a category or a subgroup, you can zoom in. So this is pretty cool. And I'm going to show you how you could use this data set, for example, for what kind of purpose this could be useful. So that is the first one. Let me delete it. I want to show you the other one. The other one is called packed circle chart. Okay, it's kind of similar. You have like groups, group 1, 2, 3, 4. When you click on one, it zooms in, and then you can click on the subgroup, and then again it zooms in. Okay, so if I want to zoom out, all the way out, I can see by just hovering my mouse over one of these circles right here, I can see a value. So I can see group 1, the value is 1200, group 3, 180, group 4, 450, etc., etc. So the value and the size of the circle will be proportional. Of course, the bigger the value, the bigger the circle. So that's the first thing you need to know. You can hover your mouse over a data set to see its value. Now, let's come back to our first chart right here. Okay, so I'm going to use the tree map, and I want to show you one way of using this, for example. So you have your data right here. So in order to make the data appear, just click on your graph, on your chart, and then you should see your data set. You have two tabs, data and settings. I'll come back to settings in a minute, but just for now, I want to show you the data right here. So I'm going to clear everything. Just like for the other charts, you have the possibility to upload a CSV file or to upload a Google Sheet file. Or if you're like me and you prefer to keep things simple, you can also just go to your spreadsheet and then copy your data and paste the data right here in these cells that you see here. All right, so I'm going to come to my spreadsheet. So I have here a little bit of fake data about our YouTube channel regarding the types of formats. So we have tutorial, shorts, and post, community post. Then we have the content that these formats talk about, like Canva, AI, interviews. For the community post, we also have carousels, single photo post, and also a few polls. And then the volume, so that is the number of tutorials that we have on the channel that talk about Canva, 350. The number of tutorials that talk about AI, 45. Again, these are fictional numbers, data sets. But what I want to show you is that you can simply copy all of these cells. Okay, so you select only the cells that are interesting to you, that you want to port over to Canva. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to come back to my Canva document right here. So no data to display. Just going to click here, and I'm going to Command V to paste my data. Now I have the title, format, content, and volume, and I have all of my entries right here, my data set. All I need to do is to go to settings, and in the group section here, I need to add content as well. And here, volume, it's already preset for me. So now I can come back to data, and now my data is visually represented in this tree map chart. Okay, so I have my tutorials. I can see the bulk of it is about Canva, 350, and then I have 45 or so tutorials about AI and a couple 13 about interviews. So if I click here, I see the tutorial section into more detail. If I click on interviews, I could go even further and add some subgroups there, like interview of, I don't know, Matt Wolf, interview of Rob Bolivar, interview of Roger Coles. And yes, this is also me shamelessly plugging our new podcast series called Pro Tips, where I interview successful content creators. You should check it out. It's right there on the channel. I will have another link in the description for you if you want to listen to some good conversation with some very talented people. All right, back to the What's Hot episode. This is what I wanted to show you with regards to these two new types of interactive charts. I think once again that Canva is showing us kind of like the possibilities of what we will soon be able to do in Canva without leaving the comfort of the editor when it comes to data visualization. More and more of these flourish features will start to pop up into Canva. This is a great one, and I'm really looking forward to see what else they will come up with. But have a play with this. This is pretty cool. If you are into manipulating data sets and telling stories with your data set, this is some great tools for that. And the cherry on top is that these new types of charts are available to all users, pro and free users, on both mobile and desktop. So you have absolutely no excuse not to use them. All right, guys, let's shift gear and finish this tutorial, finish this episode with all of the latest UI, UX changes to Canva. So these are going to be smaller changes, but yet important changes to Canva. And I'm going to go over them a bit faster because I want to respect your time. The first one of these changes is called Creators You Follow. In order to find this feature, you'll need to start from your Canva homepage. And we are talking about Canva creators, aka the designers who are developing templates just like Diana and submitting these templates to Canva so that they can be added into the Canva template library. So talking about templates, the Canva template library, so it is kind of logical that we will find this feature under the templates button. All right, so let's click on the templates button and let me show you where you should find this button with the creators you follow. Okay, so it should be right here. So these are the creators I follow. You see Diana, you see my friend Roger that I mentioned before, another one called Hop, Andrew Pixel, 9-inch Ideas, Sandy Sevilla, etc., etc. So these are all Canva creators I have followed in the past, and we can see all of their work right here. So you can sort these creators by the most popular or the most recent. Okay, so that is one way you can sort them. And obviously you can also see any of the templates they have created. You can use the little arrows right here. They're not going to show you all of them, but they're going to show you the latest ones. Okay, the latest one they have published. If you want to see all of their work, you can click on their name and you will get to their Canva creator profile. Okay, so how do you follow a Canva creator? Well, you see this button right here. Let me unfollow Diana. Don't tell her for a second because I'm going to follow right back. So if you land on a Canva creator profile, you should see something like this, a big purple follow button. Now, a lot of you are going to ask me, how do I find the Canva creators? Well, the answer is there is no directory so far. So you will kind of have to stumble upon some of their templates from within the editor or from the template library. And when you see like a template that you like, check out like the name of the creator. You can click on that and then you will land on this page. There is no directory. They're not searchable per se into Canva. If you want to follow Diana's creator profile, there is a link to her profile in every single video that we create. So just unroll the description and you should find it there. So now let's follow her back before she notices. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to show you about the Canva creators and the creators you follow. So again, if I come back to this page of the creators I follow, I can see other creators. Let's search for the most popular again. So if we want to check out my friend Roger's templates, which I also recommend. Roger is a great designer. Yeah, so that's pretty much how it works. From here, you can star any template you like, and then they will appear in your start folder. So it's kind of nice to follow a couple of like trustworthy creators, and then from time to time you go shop around and put your favorite templates into your start folder, and so you can start working on them the next time you open Canva. So that is the first thing I wanted to show you. Let's move on to the next one. The next little tweak in the Canva UI is called the new folder card. Okay, so this is just a couple of improvements that Canva made to the folders. So in order to find the folders, let's go to your projects. Okay, so the novelty is not something groundbreaking, but they made it easier to kind of visualize what's inside your folders by adding a little thumbnail in the folder itself. Okay, so right here, I can see the 2022 Black Friday campaign. I can see there is a Facebook banner right here. I recognize this design right here. Also, you can see who has access to this folder. Here I see the little bubbles. Okay, so Diana and I have access to this folder. You can see how many items they have in the folder, etc., etc. So this is a simple, I would say, UI tweak. Let me zoom in to see if I can see this a little bit better. The thumbnails, yeah, they're decent size, so I can actually see what they are. So yeah, this is a new feature, a little tweak in the UI for improving the way we use folders. It should be available to all users on all devices. Moving on to the next new feature, this one is also something you guys have been asking for quite a while. It is the increase in the number of audio tracks you can add to a single Canva document. Previously, this limit was set to 20 audio clips only, even if you are working with video and editing videos. So that was a little bit like not enough, but now Canva has pushed that limit to 50 audio clip per Canva design, which is much better in my opinion. And this will make the lives of the video editors out there much easier. You can now avoid to duplicate a design, a video project, just because you needed to add more sound bites, more sound clip to it. I think 50 audio clip is a much more reasonable limit to have in our video projects. And this will also be available to all users, so paid and free users alike. Next, we have a feature that Canva calls aggregated font weights. And I actually want to show you this one, show you how it works. So I'm going to come back to my beautiful Team Roundy design right here, which I'm going to delete straight away. Let's go to my text button right here. And I'm going to add, let's say I'm going to add a sentence. All right, so this is the sentence that I have. Canva is grouping our fonts into true fonts families. Okay, so up until now, if I wanted to change the weight of specific word in a text box, the entire text box would actually follow the same modification. So if I bolded the word Canva, the entire sentence would be bolded, but not anymore, because now we have aggregated font weight. So let me show you how it works. It works from the font menu. So if I click here, I can see that the font here, let me show you. So the font here is Montserrat Extra Bold. If I click on this little arrow, I have regular and bold, okay? This is going to be the same effect of using this bold. So that is cool, but not so impressive, Ronnie. I know. Now let's try another font, Montserrat. Montserrat, if I click on this little arrow, oh, now I have a lot more font weight right here. I have thin, extra light, light, regular, medium, semi-bold, bold, extra bold, and black. Now that is a lot of different font weight to choose from. And I love that Canva has aggregated them right there under the same font. So we have the font, we have the little arrow, and we have all of the different font weight right there. And the beauty is that I can start playing around with the font weights from right here. I can use different words of this sentence and give them a different weight using this. So let's start very thin. Okay, Canva is grouping. Let's go maybe light our fonts. Let's go a bit more with semi-bold into true. Okay, let's go bold, and then font family will go all the way because we are locos black. Okay, so Canva is grouping our font into true font families. That's exactly what my font weight is suggesting, that you raise your voice and scream louder. So I love that we can now do this in Canva. Before it was completely not possible to achieve such a result. Now with aggregated font weight, it is possible. And it gives us a lot of flexibility because you will see when you will go and have a look for yourself, a lot of fonts have their aggregated weights, even the uploaded fonts. So these are the potential fonts you might have uploaded to Canva if you're a Canva Pro user via your brand kit. So if you uploaded the entire font family with the font weights, then they will be aggregated right there as well. So this is, in my opinion, a very cool update for all of us who are in love with typography and fonts and lettering. And this too will be available to all Canva users. So paid, free, mobile, desktop, everyone. All right, let's move on to the next UI tweak. This one has to do with emojis. And if you know me, you know how much I love emojis. Let me show you. This is how much I love emojis. I have my Stream Deck right here with my preset emojis, so I can give you some emojis when you leave me a comment on YouTube. So yeah, this is how much I love emojis. So the good news is that Canva finally added emojis. They call it inline emojis for reactions and comments in the comment sections of Canva. So for example, if I want to leave a comment for this text box right here, click on the three little dots, add a comment. This is great. Okay, I'm gonna comment that. And then someone is gonna come and see my comment and say, oh, that's a cool comment. Can click here and I can use one of the most used emojis right here, or you can click on the plus button and all of a sudden you access the entire emoji library, which is great. So I'm gonna give this like victory hand. I'm gonna give love And I'm gonna give, what else? I'm gonna give another one. Let me use the plus button, maybe a cowboy emoji. Yeah, why not? So yeah, I love that. And I love that my other teammates will be able to come and just like on Slack, they see emojis, they can just click on them to add one more, like a +1 right here. And so we'll have 2, love face, etc., etc. So this is very cool. I love that we can now just communicate with emojis in the Canva comments. So what this feature will do, it will, 1, allow you to add any emojis. 2, it will let you change the skin tone, which is great, just like any emoji platform. And 3, it will pin the frequently used emojis right there on top. And that means that when you click on the emoji button right here, these 5 first emoji or 6 first emoji actually will be your most used emoji. So major time saver, just like your phone. It was about time, Canva. I want to say it was about time, but I really love that you brought this feature. Again, available to everyone on every platform, on every device. All right, moving on to the next new UI UX change. This one has to do with colors. So let me show you. It will allow you to shuffle the color and apply these colors to all the pages of your design, just like you would with styles, okay? But remember, before when you came to your brand hub and just if you had a brand kit created or set up there, you would have your colors, but you would not be able to just click on these color palettes and apply this to all of your pages. And now it is the case with your brand hub colors. So if you see here, I'm in my brand hub. This is one of our brand kits, okay? And I can see that Canva for Social Media course, which is the brand kit I'm using here, has 2 color palettes. I want to see all. These are all the color palettes. I want to change my brand kit. Can also do that from this little arrow right here. Let's say you want to see Team Run these colors. Now I have 3. What I want to show you is that you can now apply this to your page just like you would with style by just clicking on this shuffle button, and there you go. So that is the novelty. If you want grayscale, there you go. Color is always better. So there you go. So that is the novelty, the ability to very quickly add the colors of your brand kit via the brand hub to all the pages of your design. So if I had more pages, let me duplicate this several times, or if I want to come back to the actual design, which was a design by Diana, I believe, and I think it was this one right here. But there's only 1 page. So if I want to add more pages, let's say all of these, apply all 6 pages. All right, now I have 6 pages in this document. Let's come back to the brand hub and let's shuffle these colors, apply to all pages, and boom. Now, let me show you a grid view. I have applied these branded colors to all of the pages of my design. So that is the novelty. It's just another shortcut to keep your stuff on brand and basically work faster. And once more, this is available to all Canva users. Just be aware that for this to work, you will need to have a brand kit set up with your color palette. And free users can create a brand kit, but your color palette will be limited to 3 colors only. So even if you are a free user, I believe this feature should work for you. Go try it out. All right, guys, I have 3 more features to go. If you're still with me at this stage, you are an absolute legend. You're taking your Canva education seriously, and I send you kudos for that because at this stage, we've lost most of the viewers. I'm gonna be honest, this is the way YouTube works, but if you are still there, congratulations, you are a true champion. So let's discover these 3 last features before we wrap up the episode. The next one is called Copy Sticky Note and Paste into Spreadsheet. So what the heck is this? Well, this is a feature that will work with your Canva whiteboards. Canva whiteboards are very often used by teams as a brainstorming support. So you will have different people logging into the same Canva whiteboard, maybe being on a Zoom call together, and they will just use their whiteboard as a support to bring up a bunch of different ideas, to brainstorm, and to just use sticky notes and shapes and illustrations to throw some ideas ideas around and see what sticks. So I do have something here, and this feature is a pretty clever one if you ask me. Let's say you have 4, you probably will have more after a brainstorming session, but let's say you have 4 post-its there that are the most popular ideas of this session, and you want to quickly export that, grab these 4 ideas and paste that into another document. It could be a spreadsheet, for example. Well, I can very quickly select these 4 sticky notes, go right click and then copy, and then I could come to a spreadsheet, like my good old spreadsheet right here with the data set from the previous feature I showed you. I'm going to click here on the cell number A1 and I'm going to paste, so Command V, and there you go. My ideas have now been pasted here. ID number 1, get some ripe strawberries. ID number 4, let's keep dessert. ID number 2, buy a chocolate cake. And ID number 3, serve some vanilla ice cream. So in case you didn't notice, I was trying to brainstorm what I would have for dessert. So yeah, I think this feature is pretty useful. It's again, not a groundbreaking feature that will make you become a Canva power user, but it works with sticky notes. It also works with shapes. So these are just shapes with some keywords inside of them. So let me show you that it also works with shapes. And I come here and I'm going to paste from cell number 10. So there you go. So this feature is available to all Canva users on all devices, and it will work only, that's the only thing, with Canva whiteboards. Now, for the next feature, which is called Video Switcher, I want to come back to this Instagram post that I created earlier in the tutorial. Okay, so my 6 slides based on my template. The Video Switcher is a small but mighty button that is actually called duration right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they change that to something else, but you should see this duration button pop up. It's right there underneath your thumbnail view, and if the thumbnails view is collapsed, you shouldn't see your duration button, but in order to find it, just click on this little arrow right here. It says show pages, then you show all the pages, and then you see what Canva now calls the video switcher, which is the duration button. So what does this duration button, aka the video switcher, do? Well, let's click on it and discover. So when you click on it, you see a play button. Canva tells us that the video switcher button will transform any Canva document into a video document, meaning it will enable all of the features that you would normally find in a video-only document. I'm talking about features like transitions, I'm talking about adding multiple audio tracks, like we've seen, up to 50, and I'm talking about, and this is coming very soon, element timing. Element timing is this feature that will allow you to visualize the timeline of your project and add specific features, specific elements, make them appear at very specific moments based on that timeline. So make them appear and disappear. So this element timing is not yet available, but Canva is telling us that it's coming soon. Really looking forward to this coming to every single Canva document types, because element timing is a very good feature. And last but not least, because yes, every good thing has an end, this is the last feature of this video, this What's Hot episode 30. Yes, we have 29 other episodes that I will let you know how you can access in a second. But before, let's wrap this up with the last feature called Music in Timer. So this will allow you to add some kind of like waiting room music when you display a timer. So timers are available in 2 types of Canva documents: Canva whiteboards and Canva presentations. So since I'm not in any of these 2, I probably need to come back home and open either a whiteboard or a presentation. Let's open a whiteboard. Okay, so this is my whiteboard. You see here at the bottom a timer button. So if you click here and you hover over your timer, you can change the duration of the timer. You should see a little music note. And when you click here, you will see what this new feature is all about. So you have 4 kind of music category that you can start playing. So you have focus, dramatic, upbeat, and energetic, or you can just play without music. So play your timer without music. Let's start with energetic. Let's start. All right, not my favorite type of music. Let's see, upbeat. Sounds like a video game. not great. Dramatic. Okay, so I think you get the point. The last one is focus. Well, let's play focus. All right, guys, I will let you discover these 4 music categories by yourself. I think this is a nice idea. I mean, why not? I would love when Canva, and this is how I tie back to the first thing I said in this tutorial, when Canva will have formalized this partnership with Warner Music Group, and we will have all of these commercially released music available in Canva, I hope we can use them in the timer. I believe this is the perfect way to close the loop on this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching it until the end. I will leave you with the other episodes of What's Hot so you can continue your education of the new features if you enjoyed this tutorial. Once again, my name is Ronnie. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. I appreciate your support and I will see you in the next tutorial.